NBA advanced stats are absolutely ridiculous. Oh my goodness, you want to understand. I was scrolling through Twitter yesterday and I saw a tweet basically saying that Paulo Banchero will be the unanimous rookie of the year, but there's one guy, I think his name's Andy Larson, voted Walker Kessler, so that wasn't the case. Now, I was thinking to myself, why would anybody vote Walker Kessler over Paulo for rookie of the year? And I really couldn't think of a reason because I just figured that Paulo Banchero was definitely more impactful on the court and for his team. But conveniently, the guy that voted Kessler, his reply was right under the tweet. And he stated that looking at the advanced stats, Walker Kessler was the better player. And boy, was this the most absurd thing I have seen in a minute. What in the world are we doing right now? It's gotten to the point you don't even have to watch the games anymore. You just have to look at your advanced stats. You don't even have to know who Paulo is. All you have to do is look at the stats and say, oh, Walker Kessler has a better LeBron rating in defensive box plus minus, and decide that Walker Kessler is the better player. But anybody that watches basketball can clearly see that Paulo was not only just better overall, but he was more impactful to his team. And this Larson guy is trying to say, oh, the plus minus shows me that Paulo's team was worse when he was off the court. Are you serious right now? We're using plus minus to determine who's a better player. That's like completely team based. That's literally a team. Yeah, obviously players have impact on the court, but you can't look at plus minus and ultimately decide that's why a team is doing better or worse when it could just be based on the players around him, the lineups that the coach is using. I mean, it's ridiculous how we're using advanced stats to literally compare players. It's become absurd to me. And we're seeing this in the NBA MVP debate as well. Nikola Jokic is not the MVP, it's Joel Embiid. Except there are people that will look at advanced stats and say, oh, Nikola Jokic is a way better defender than Joel Embiid because his defensive box plus minus and VORP trumps Joel Embiid. And the advanced stats will tell you that Nikola Jokic is an elite defender. And anybody that watches basketball will tell you that Nikola Jokic is not a great defender. He can get torched sometimes. And in fact, Joel Embiid went up against Nikola Jokic and dropped, 46? So you're telling me that Nikola Jokic is some all-time great defender based on his advanced stats? That's absolutely ridiculous. And then you got people like this that are actually giving votes. These people have votes. These people are voting for your major award winners. And it's people like that are ruining like the unanimous NBA MVP, the unanimous Rookie of the Year. I think even Shaq complained about this one voter who didn't vote him and he didn't win unanimous NBA MVP. But it's kind of worse because these people are now using advanced stats and they don't even have to watch a game. It's sad and it needs to be fixed. Advanced stats, they're not the worst tool in the world, but we certainly should not be relying on them. I think the eye test would give you far more valuable information than advanced stats. And the Jazz were bad, the Magic were bad, so it's not like it's saying, oh, the Jazz were like a top 5 team in the West and it was because of Walker Kessler. No. Your entire reasoning is looking at advanced stats. There's no other justification. Literally, he said that I'm an analytically oriented guy and the advanced stats favor Walker Kessler. That's the entire reasoning. And of course it's getting flamed because it's absolutely ridiculous. It's absurd. So that I just had to make a video on this because this needs to stop. Just watch the game. Watch the game. Stop using advanced stats to determine who's a better player. Let's watch the games. Let's look at production. Let's look at value outside of plus minus and LeBron rating. Let's do a better job, and let's actually have voters that actually care about the game of basketball and don't just use advanced stats as a measure to determine who's the better player. That's my take. NBA playoffs, can't wait for that. Hopefully that will brighten my mood after what I just read and saw, and see who wins. Let's get it.